What up, Wizards? It's Deb from Mtg, and I'm sick. Yeah, that's why you haven't seen me for a couple of weeks. But don't worry, it's fine. I'm fine. Everything's okay. Hey, you want to see something really cool? You guys want to see something pretty awesome? Check this out real quick. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be worth it. Don't worry. It's gonna be pretty awesome. Hey, you guys see that? You guys, right there? Yeah, you know what that is right there? That is official Magic the Gathering product right there. But what about not official Magic product, I hear you saying? And I do hear you saying it. I hear everything you say on the other side of the screen. Well, guess what? That's why I've got these right here, baby. Shh, no, crap. Again, it's fine. The box is bent now, but it's totally fine. Yeah, these are proxies. They're proxies. That's why this is here. Hold on. Vivian, I'm going to show you Vivian. She's better than a poster board that says proxies. But yeah, that's why we're here today, is because I got these. Really, Brittany got me these for Christmas. They are proxies, and they're from wish.com. But ooh, dun dun dun. You see, as you might remember from the last video, I'm broke. So I decided that maybe it would be a good idea for the cube for Christmas, right? To get some cards that I could never afford in my life for a relatively cheap price, because they're not real cards, right? So I figured that maybe you guys would want to hang out with me for a second and just like look through these, see how good they look or how bad they look or whatever. Do I recommend buying them? Blah, blah, blah. Are they illegal? I don't know. We'll find out together on a journey through time in Magic the Gathering. We're going to look at some proxies from Wish. All right, let's get set up here and see what we got from the Wish.com. Why don't we? Let's see here. This is 106 pieces according to the seller here, and it's also apparently, according to the seller, blue core, whatever that means. I'm sure that's everyone that plays Magic knows what that means except for me. I'm sure that that's the case, but I've never heard of that. Maybe it's a paper thing. Maybe it's maybe blue core paper. I don't know. But you see here, let me maybe zoom in slightly on our brand new beta demonic tutor. Look at that. It actually doesn't look bad. It's if you can't feel it, obviously, but it is obvious. It's very, very glossy when you feel it. It does not at all feel like a card from beta. It doesn't have that sort of almost threaded feeling or even look to it. There's absolutely no wear. It's just incredibly high gloss. You could probably fool someone who's been into Magic for like 3 days that this is a real card, which is probably not great. You know, like I've already talked about this on camera a couple times, but not long ago, I got these proxies from a different card like making site, basically. And like, these are borderless proxies. You can't ever confuse them for like an actual card from Magic the Gathering, like a real, you know, Hasbro or Wizards printed product or anything. These are obviously very fake. Well, the swamp isn't fake, but the Volcanic Island and all the dual lands and the Wheel of Fortune, like, they're super obviously fake. Whereas these are making an attempt to look like real cards, and there's probably some ethical problems with that, and there's definitely an ethical problem with something that we'll get to a little bit later on down the line. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, but let's just see what all is in the set for now. We got our beta demonic tutor. We have a a Gauntlet of Might. That's pretty neat. Actually, this was just reprinted not long ago, if I'm not mistaken, I should say. I think it was in like Dominaria Remastered or Jumpstart, something. It's in like a new product here that just came out. But that's sure is neat to have that for mostly for the cube is mostly what I want these cards for. There's a Liliana of the Veil. Let's not sneak that into mono black deck and take it up to the F&M. Let's not do that. This is another one. This is a newer card. This is the newest card we've seen so far out of the whole 3 cards we've looked at. But this too, like the coloration, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but the coloration is like wildly off compared to what the actual version of this card's supposed to look like. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if you could fool some people. This is a force field. Now, a force field sat under the glass at Comics Plus right up the street from me for like 10 years when I was a kid, from the time I was 11 years old. A force field and a Bazaar of Baghdad sat up in that card shop under the glass. Nobody ever bought them. It's funny, back in the day, this force field from beta was $90 under glass at Comics Plus when I was 5 when I was 5 in 1995 when I was 11. Now I think a beta force field probably set you back like 1,500, 2,000, like something like that, you know? So, but having seen many, or really, I was going to say I've seen lots of beta force fields. Having seen one beta force field a lot in my life, this doesn't quite look like, again, if you're familiar with the card at all, this could not quite fool me. But it would come too close, I think, for comfort for a lot of people. You got a Show and Tell from Urza's Saga, Ether Vial right here. You got a Chalice of the Void. So you see, they give you, there's an Oblivion Stone. They give you quite the mix of like Commander and Cube playables and stuff like that. Karn Liberated. So this is getting fun, right? They got a Chains of Mephistopheles. This card should be hundreds of dollars. But here it is. Again, this is just too high gloss. But I hope it doesn't fool anybody. But like a card like Crucible, right? Like this Crucible could totally fool somebody. Which is, again, ethically not necessarily great. I don't love like pitch perfect proxies. And for the most part, these haven't been. But Crucible is really, really close. There's a Candelabra of Tawnos, another card that sat up under the glass forever at Comics Plus when I was a kid. And the coloration on this one is way too close, to be honest. But again, I'm getting this for Cube. This is personal use only. They're never going to see play outside of Cube, but or any sort of use whatsoever outside of Cube. But I still don't love how close that is. There's an Imperial Seal. Imperial Seal, huh? I didn't know this was in the set. There's Vampiric Tutor. It's the same thing as Imperial Seal. Just slightly less rare, I guess. It's interesting they went with the 6th edition version of Vampiric Tutor and not the Visions one. That's a call. Thoughtseize. Okay. What's next? Berserk. This one is funny. This one is actually really funny because this is, if you can't tell, from Masters Edition. And if I'm not mistaken, that was an all-online set, an online-only set. So this card in this printing effectively doesn't exist in real life. I wonder if the seller knows that, but that's probably for the best, right? Hopefully you're not fooling anybody with this Berserk. It's obviously a fake card because this just doesn't exist, but it is cool to have a Berserk. I've never had a Berserk. Kiki Jiki Mirror Breaker. You got a Sliver Legion. That's pretty cool, if your commander group is okay with proxies, and a lot of commander groups are nowadays. I would say that from what I can tell, just reading things online and stuff, it seems like more commander groups than not are okay with proxies. So as long as you're up front that that's what this is, hopefully they'll be cool with it. Umezawa's Jete, Grim Tutor, that's another nice little proxy to have. Although this one was recently reprinted, but it's hard to get the starter one. Time Twister, hey, just a Power 9 card just kind of hanging out by itself, unless it's not by itself. Yeah, it is by itself. It's weird. But we reach our first power card. This is an unlimited, mock unlimited Time Twister right here. And this doesn't look too terrible. Again, the coloration is really, really nice on this one, but probably honestly too nice to be for anyone to think this is an original unlimited Time Twister. But Imperial Recruiter next. That's an interesting call again for this set to have this card. Hard to find and important for a lot of commander decks. Cryptic Command in the set. Dark Depths. That's neat. Ooh, Enlightened Tutor. Yeah, if it's got all the tutors in it, that's a good little set right there. So actually have been looking at ordering Enlightened Tutor for a while. Now, I do want to point out, too, this does not keep me from ordering the actual cards. They're just kind of placeholders for the cube. Like I want an actual Mirage Enlightened Tutor like I had when I was, 12 years old. Card means a lot to me. Same thing with Worldly Tutor and Mystical Tutor. Vampiric Tutor and stuff. I've already got a Worldly Tutor for the cube. I've already got a Mystical Tutor for the cube, but I've been meaning to order Enlightened Tutor. Having this does not keep me from ordering that. It doesn't make me want to order it any less because I don't actually have a Mirage Enlightened Tutor, and I would like to actually have a Mirage Enlightened Tutor. So I'm sure I'll still get around to ordering the card eventually. Just it's a nice placeholder for the cube time being. Vendilion Click is in here. You got Sword of Fire and Ice. I imagine a couple of swords are going to be in here. Birthing Pod, a nice one to get. Bitter Blossom. Again, most of these are going to be nice ones to get, but Blossoms, that's great. Cavern of Souls, nice. Force of Will, nice. Really good to have a Force of Will. Celestial Colonnade, Tolarian Academy. It's not the community college, it's the actual academy. That's nice. Deathrite Shaman. Huh. Again, an interesting call considering I don't think it's too expensive to pick up a Deathrite Shaman. It is to pick up a Mana Crypt, though. I know that. Mana Crypt is a very expensive card. But that's actually a really good looking Mana Crypt there. It's going to go in just about every commander deck. There's a Chrome Mox. Basically say the same thing about that. It's going to go in a lot of commander decks and right into the cube here. That's kind of the beauty of this, I guess, is that if you wanted to put them in your cube, you could buy a set. And if you wanted to, play them in commander, you could just buy another set. They're like $10 to $12. I think it's $12 after shipping and tax and stuff for us. So, it's only $24 total dollars. Like, you could totally order 2 of these sets so you don't have to like re-sleeve them from your cube to your commander deck or whatever. Dark Confidant Bob shows up. That's good. There's another sword, sort of Feast of Famine this time. Damnation, nice to have. I don't have a copy of this for the cube, and I always wanted one, so nice. Got Voice of Resurgence, and that's a weird. When was this proxy set made? Voice of Resurgence popular when it was made. Stoneforge Mystic, always good to have one of you, lady. Spellskite, another interesting call there. Emrakul, the Eon's Torn, makes perfect sense. Illusionary Mask, huh? Here's a problem with Illusionary Mask in my mind, and like 1 or 2 of the other cards we've seen so far, but especially a card like Mask, is that I don't really think this sees any commander play. For the most part, people think it's too confusing for cube play and stuff like that. Just a very wordy card that's actually not that great. It's just the art is really nice, and it is kind of a collector's card. It's been an important card pretty much my entire Magic playing life, just in terms of collectability. And I kind of don't like that they chose a card like that, right? I'm not sure, again, what the actual application. Maybe there's a huge, amazing commander application for this card that everybody knows about, again, except for me. So happens to be that tends to be the case sometimes, but I'm just, I'm not aware of this card seeing too much play at all in any format, which is it's weird that they would include a card like that, if you know what I am saying. But let's move on to Sensei's Divining Top. Yes, every commander deck needs not every commander deck, but a lot do need a Sensei's Divining Top. We got Snappy over here. Good to see you. That's nice. Blood Moon. Get that out of here. City of Traders. Doubling Season. Every green commander deck seems to play Doubling Season. Got Ancient Tomb in here. Oh, wow. And I can tell on the next one too, but the coloration on this land is just awful. I can see in the viewfinder on the camera that this doesn't look too far off from Ancient Tomb from Tempest in terms of coloration, but in real life, and I don't know how to communicate that more, just naked eye, real life, what I'm seeing in front of me. The coloration on this card is extremely off. It's like way too gray. And I know that obviously the Tempest lands have like that grayish background, but you'll know what I mean. It's a lack of saturation. It's like really, really washed out. This card does not look great sitting in front of me right now. Library of Alexandria. Again, let me see how this one looks on camera. It looks fine on camera, but in real life, this is just like completely like gray and washed out. And again, I've seen libraries, real libraries, and they are a little washed out. They are a little gray, but this one more so. As a matter of fact, I would say that IRL here, to my eye, the gray around the border of this library is darker than it should be, while still being like more washed out than it should be, less saturated than it should be. It's a really weird print on this library, but still, it feels in some small way like looking at a library from Arabian Nights, which is a trip. Hey, there's a Bazaar. Yeah, again, like I said earlier, I looked at a Bazaar of Baghdad under the glass every 2-3 times a week for 8 to 10 years there, while Comics Plus was still in the same location. And this does not look in any way like the Bazaar of Baghdad in my memory from under the glass of that shop. Should have bought that too, even though it was forever ago, and Bazaar of Baghdad was not seen as a very good card for a long time, just a history lesson. Bazaar was still under the glass for like $200. And what I should have done is taken the first paycheck I ever made from a job and bought that Bazaar of Baghdad. And I say that about a lot of cards nowadays. Either way, it's just cool to have Bazaar. This will go great in the cube for Reanimator lists and stuff. Diamond Valley, just more of these antiquities, Arabian Nights lands. And this one actually looks, in terms of the coloration and the print on the art and stuff, this is the best looking one IRL. I can tell you that. Just in terms of like how good of a job they did with the printing of it, it's the best looking one. Jace the Mind Sculptor in here, Sword of Body and Mind, yet another sword. We got Flusterstorm in here if you wanted that. Mana Drain, you do want that. Ooh, a Cradle. Yep. Oh, I needed you. I'm so sorry. I don't know that I will go about getting a Cradle now because Cradles are expensive. They really are. And this, just pop this directly into a commander deck. Or the cube for that matter. We got Mishra's Workshop. Again, the coloration does not look very good on this one. Wasteland, that looks much better than the Ancient Tomb. I don't know if it does in the viewfinder. Yeah, it does. But that looks much, much closer than the Ancient Tomb did from Tempest. Lion's Eye Diamond, everybody needs a little LED in their life. Got Tarmogoyf, pretty good proxy set so far. The Abyss. Rashad Port, okay, cool. Ooh, that art is not anywhere near as vibrant as it's supposed to be in reality, but still a good looking port. Sword of Light and Shadow, they just really give you every sword. Sword of War and Peace, nice. Maze of Ith. I have a Maze of Ith that was actually on the set for like a whole year and a half, and now it's in the cube. This is one of my favorite cards of all time. I've looked at it more than I have most Magic cards, and this is not quite it. This is not quite it, but it would take a somewhat trained eye to tell that. It would take someone that's looked at a Maze of Ith about as much as I have to tell that this is not a real Maze of Ith. And again, I'm not sure how I feel about that ethically. We are now at Time Vault. Look at that. Or is this the Power 9 now? It might be. Yeah, there's an unlimited Time Vault right there. There's a, yep, I think we've hit the 9. Well, really 8 because we already saw Time Twister like way before this. There's Ancestral Recall. Looking pretty good, I have to say. Got Time Walk, as we expected. Oh, and there's some Moxen, baby. We are hitting the Moxen now. There's Pearl. There's Emerald, the two less valuable ones next to each other. There's Pearl and Emerald. Moxjet. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. I feel like sleeving these, even though I know there's no reason to. I could rip these apart right now, and it wouldn't matter, but that would feel weird. There's a Ruby. God, Ruby looks good. And there's my girl. There's my girl right there. The Mox Sapphire. This, good. Looks good. It does look good. So I can only imagine the thing that's under this is probably the thing we've all been waiting for. Yeah, there she is. There she is. There she is, kid. There she is. That's... it's an unlimited Black Lotus, but it's not. It's not. I haven't seen a whole lot of unlimited Black Lotuses in my life. Black Lotusi? Blotusi. I think I've seen 2 in total in front of my face in real life. And this one has the opposite problem some of the other ones have. The color is too vibrant on this. Honestly, the green in the background is a little too yellow. The blue is too blue on the Lotus itself. So this one is extremely oversaturated compared to what these often look like. Even the frame around the card, I don't know if you can tell, but the frame looks almost like a 5th edition frame in a way. Not quite, but just again, to the naked eye. In real life, I don't know how it looks. The viewfinder kind of makes it look like a 5th edition card too. Now that I'm looking at it, but yeah, it's not quite 5th edition, but it's close. It's closer than I want it to be. Now we've hit the lands here. You got Breeding Pool, Stomping Ground 2, Hallowed Fountain 3, Watery Grave 4, Godless Shrine 5, Steam Vents 6, Overgrown Tomb 7, Sacred Foundry 8, Blood Crypt 9, and Temple Garden is the 10th Shockland. Oh, we got some... we got some fetches. Mystery Rainforest 1, Scalding Tarn 2, Verdant Catacombs 3, Arid Mesa 4, Polluted Delta. Oh, Polluted Delta. It's not actually looking very good. 5, Marsh Flat 6, Bloodstained Mire 7, Flooded Strand 8, Windswept Peaks 9, and Wooded Foothills is the 10th one. And that should be dual lands. Yep. Look at them dual lands. Look at them dual lands, kid. Look at them. Oh, nice. Badlands. Got love. Volcanic Island. Got Bayou. My actual favorite one is Bayou. From when I was a kid, at least. I used to love Bayou. Savannah. Taiga. I also love Taiga. I just love how Taiga looks. You know, like the green and red alternating like bars in the text box. I think it's like the best looking of the text boxes for these. It's just such a cool card. We got Tundra here. The one that I always thought looked like nothing. It still looks like nothing. Plateau that gets a bad rap. The least expensive dual land in real life. But it's a good dual land. It's a good looking dual land. Red and white's a good color combination. There's Tropical Island, the best one. Really, Volcanic Island is the one that fetches the most. But obviously, Underground Sea and Tropical Island are pretty expensive ones too. There's Underground Sea right there. That's actually a very good looking Underground Sea, like incredibly good looking Underground Sea. And then the next one should be Scrubland. Did I get it right? Yes, that's right. So that's all 10 of every important land, basically in the history of Magic the Gathering. So you get the Power 9. You get 10 of each Shock Land, Dual Land, and Fetch Land. Plus a ton of really good Commander playables from a lot of different eras of Magic the Gathering. And it's all like $12. So you may notice that I haven't shown you one specific thing here. And it is this. This you can't do, you see. You can't do this. See, let me go back to these borderless proxies that I brought up earlier when we were talking about these. Let's look at the back of those. Yeah, they look like that. So you could never mistake them. You could never, under any circumstances, mistake these for actual Magic cards. These, in fact, have just normal Magic bags, which is unbelievable to me. I did not expect that. The listing on Wish specifically says proxies. X amount of pieces proxy set for Magic the Gathering. So I expected, again, something like this, or maybe just playing card backs. You see that from time to time with proxies. But I did not actually expect actual fake Magic cards. Now I've a double, extra, triple, quadruple checked this out, and apparently in the United States you can buy a counterfeit product for personal use, which is exactly what I'm doing with these cards. Is I'm using them for personal use only. I am not attempting to resell them or anything like that. And trust me on this, if you were going to try to resell these, you would get your butt clapped, completely clapped. You would get in trouble. I do not suggest any kind of monkey business, tomfoolery shenanigans when it comes to these cards, because you absolutely will go to jail. Now, the best way, I think, to deal with a situation like this is very likely to just take the back of that card like that and to just write real on the back. That'll get them. I tell you what, if you're gonna sell these, this is what you need to do. You need to write real on the back, and that'll convince everyone that they are in fact real Magic cards. But what I'm gonna do is write not real on each and every single one of these, basically, because again, it's kind of ridiculous in the first place that you can even buy a set from Wish that has real Magic backs. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is proxies from Wish. So end of the day, should you buy these? I don't know, are you some kind of narc or something? I mean, if you want to buy them, buy them. It's not up to me. If you don't want to buy them, don't buy them. If you have a problem with the ethics of something like this, that's totally fine with me. I kind of do too. That's why I'm writing not real on the back of every card. As a matter of fact, it's not every card. I'll write fake on the back of this card. And see, just so you know that I've actually done that, there's fake. Oh, it's on the back of the Maze of Ith. I didn't even know that. And then, that means that this is the Time Vault? Cool, this is the Time Vault right here. I'm going to write PSA Gem Mint 10 right there on the back of that, even though you can't tell that's what I wrote. It is what I wrote. But yeah, again, you should probably mark these. I mean, I don't know if you have to by law. I don't know laws, but what I do know is that you probably should mark these in some way as soon as you get them. Either that or you should probably report the seller on Wish, because they shouldn't be doing this. One way or the other, just remember, if they do stop this seller or the other sellers on thewish.com who are doing something like this, you always have a printer at your own house. I wholeheartedly believe in the idea of proxies in Magic the Gathering. The product costs way too much. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, or perhaps even thousands of dollars for single versions of some of these cards that I got today. Hey, what have I been writing all over anyway? Yeah, it's the whole Power 9 is now officially not real. As a matter of fact, I'll make sure this Mox Pearl never makes never ever makes, it onto a site for any reason. Although again, I'm not going to be the one selling these or anything. It ain't me. But all I'm saying is that if you do want to buy an old Magic card, make sure you do your homework and you don't get fleeced, kid. And as far as these existing in the first place, I don't see anything wrong with it except for the back. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. So again, I can't really recommend buying this particular product, I guess, is the end of that sentence. I was going to say but no, you probably shouldn't buy. It's a real Magic. You probably shouldn't do it. Again, you could always just use your own printer at the house. And that would actually be less, and you could put like fun backs on them or whatever. You could like alter the art in some way, like, oh, look at Lion's Eye Diamond, there's a booger coming out of her nose. So you could do whatever you wanted. It's cardboard. Remember that it's all just cardboard. But yeah, that's it for this video, I guess. I felt like I was going to have a lot more to say about proxies in general, and is this a good product, and I was going to do like a whole professor shtick. Professor? That's what I would have to call the character. The professor. I was going to do this whole shtick where I was like, Mini Magic the Gathering players, and then rate the product and grade it on a blah, but I've decided not to. If you can't tell by 8 years of me being on YouTube, I'm too lazy for that. So instead, I'm just going to say, this product's a little bit illegal. It's a slightly, maybe don't. Maybe it's in my best interest to tell you not to buy this product. But that's pretty much all I got for this one. Let me know how you felt about this guy down there in the comments section. But don't talk about whether or not you're going to buy the product. I know you're going to talk about that. But don't talk about it. Let's not get in trouble around here. Don't get me in any trouble. Am I going to get a strike for this? Is this a video I can upload? I'm going to try. We'll see. But anyway, that's it for this one. A lot more content coming in the upcoming week or two here, I hope. We'll see what happens, right? Got a lot of stuff planned here. So make sure you're subbed to the channel if you haven't done it yet. We got a lot more like weird new stuff, dumb ideas that come out of my butthole. We're gonna try those out. Everyone on the Patreon seems to be pretty cool with some of these ideas that we're coming up with. So if you want to help out, by the way, with that and like help pick content, know what we're doing before we do it and all that stuff, check out the Patreon. It's patreon.com/SBMTG. Link in the description. $1 a month. You can vote on stuff. It's a good time. But that's pretty much all the self-promotion I can stomach for now. So I'll catch you cats later. I am Dev from this place, and I will catch. I was gonna loop. It was going to become a singularity. I'll catch you cats later. I'm Deb from the place, and I'll catch you cats later. I'm Deb from the place, and I'll catch you cats later. Oh my goodness, my life. Anyway, and I'll catch you cats later. Thanks for watching, Wizards. Spread love and be kind.